Yo, what I do, guys? My name is Panache. Some call me Pan, some call me Pancito, but you can call me whatever it is as long as it's along those lines. And today I'm moving with.
It's Ndala.
Hey,
and today
is a big story.
story.
Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in again. This is episode number 6, which is that's a lot, dude.
That's crazy.
We've been moving. Thank you so much, guys, for viewing. To all the loyal supporters, keep supporting, keep subscribing, keep
liking, keep commenting,
do all that good stuff. And today's post notification shout out goes. Thank you so much, bro, for supporting the channel. Thank you so much for watching all the content, all the messages. We see you, my boy. Continue being with us, and keep rocking with us. So without further wasting of any time, let's get into today's content. Okay. So today I wanted to talk about the future of the black community because I feel as if it's not talked about enough. You know, there's a lot to the whole topic. There's a whole lot to the whole aspect, right? So what are your thoughts on the future of the black community in terms of finances, in terms of well-being? Let's start with finances.
Let's start with finance. I feel like it's 50-50. Like the black community is improving,
right?
But it's also not improving at the same time.
Dang.
It's so contradictory, but it's like you see black people in like higher positions at work, and earning more money, driving fancy cars, living in big houses. But it's not quite there yet.
It hasn't. I think there's a huge divide and a huge gap between our people, obviously the black society, because in some aspects you may see obviously the black people driving fancy cars, you may see them, you know, the mansions, you know, kids going to expensive schools. Then on the other side there is the poor side where people are really struggling to make ends meet. And I think there is a digital divide in South Africa, but that's beside the point, right? But there is a divide in terms of the finances within the black society, and I think it's because of obviously connections.
Yeah, definitely.
And whatnot. You know, in South Africa, that is what happens, you know. But more so, what I wanted us to talk about in this interview is, you know, the teens, us, the youngsters. You know, what is the future for us, you know, in terms of education, in terms of where do we see ourselves? Because I mean, we're always told that education is the most important thing, right? But many of us are studying, but we never know whether we're gonna get a job or not. So where do you see, you know, the youngsters in South Africa in terms of the education space? Should we continue to do that, or should we? Yeah, because they tell us as well, like open up your own businesses, do whatnot. But opening up a business and actually running it and making money is a whole different story, right? So that is what I wanted to know. Where do you see us in the next 5 years in terms of people that are studying, in terms of people, you know, the future?
The future. I feel like, you know, if you're gonna compare, and when we talk about this, we don't want to necessarily seem as if we're talking about black people and white people, but if you look at the way we raised and the way white people raised or the way Indians are raised, it's different in the sense that, like you said, in a black home you're told study.
Go for it.
Yeah, that's the main thing you must do. Focus on that. Like no gap year, no dropping out of school, just study, then you get a job, because that's what they were told when they were younger. Whereas like most white people, it's like, oh, you want to start a business? Sure, why not? I'll help you out.
But then the thing is, again, with white communities, not even white necessarily, but I mean, in some families they're capitalists, so they have money to invest in their kids.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's put it this way, right? The first point that you raised, that, you know, in black families we're told that education is the most important key, right? They don't have money to invest in your dreams. So the most viable way for you to invest in your own, it's for you to invest in your own,
make money
and invest in your own thing, you know. So that is the point that I'm trying to get across, is that our future is uncertain, because in some families you have money to actually start up whatever you want to start up, but in black families it's study. But what is the alternatives besides studying and, you know, starting up your own business?
It depends on the person though, because like we sitting here, we are different in the sense of maybe you may prefer going to school and I maybe prefer not going to school, because you know how you're gonna get the money, how you're gonna get a business. You know that, and as well as I know that. So it's different for every person. I feel like as parents, it's important that they at least try and motivate their kids.
They never understand.
No, they really don't.
They really don't understand. Which sometimes you're so under pressure to do a lot of things, right? For you to graduate, for you to do this and this and this. That's why I feel as if there is a lack somewhere within, the black society. It's just like study. But I mean, I think the message that we need to, although it's a bit, obviously I'm contradicting myself in a bit, but I think there is a way for us, to make money. I think the problem with us is we want to make as much money in the shortest time possible. Yeah. Right. If you see the socials, if you see people,
you wanna work now, make the money now.
Make it now. Make 100 grand now. Yeah. Rapper flex now. You know what I mean?
So everything right now.
It's now. There is no longevity. So for example, if you're recording a podcast, some people may end up on episode 3 because it's not making them enough money.
It's
now.
like a waste. It's
you know what I mean? We don't have that culture of building a brand from scratch. True. So in saying that, we can make money in anything. That's what I've realized over the past few months, that you can make money anywhere. Like literally, I can go buy a Texwitia right now, lollipops, and sell them for R1. Even if I make that R1 profit, I've made something. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So, but then again, it's tricky because.
But I also feel like, and we're gonna touch into this a bit later, but I feel like maybe it's also the way we are taught about money, because a lot of the time black people struggle to save money because you need to pay bills, you need to do everything now, and you want to enjoy yourself now.
Now enjoyment though.
You see, so it's like
now enjoyment.
It's not a matter of okay, I'm gonna get paid 1,000, I'll use 500 for expenses and save the other 500. It's like but the percentage is calling me.
Hey, but wait, so there is that Air Force One, the shoes.
I've never had it before, so I want it now.
Sure, which is very true because I mean, most of some people that I know are like that. Are like, dude, I need to flex now. I need to show people that I have it now. Yeah. Of which I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea, as long as obviously you can control how much it is that you spend. Because I mean, the thing is, the main problem that we have, I think, as the black society is we want validation. True. In anything that we do. Some people don't necessarily do things because they love them, but they do them because they want validation from something. So for example, if in a black society, if someone, they see another kid being a doctor, let me not say black, because it will sound as if I'm discriminating, but it's something, it's in some societies, but I'm speaking of the black society because I was raised in a black society. So in some instances, you see someone being a doctor and you expect your child to be on the same playing field.
That as well.
Yes. So which is a major problem because not all of us have the same abilities to become a doctor, right? In saying that, that is what I'm saying is that we want validation for everything that we do.
And that's competing.
Which is, again, we touched on that saying that is very dangerous because you don't know where that leads you, right? So the validation is a major down thing for us, you know what I mean? Because if you want validation from someone, firstly, you waste a lot of money.
A lot.
Doing something that you don't like. Second, I'll give you a classic example. Whenever you come across a young person nowadays, what's the first thing that they want? A BMW. Why do you want a BMW? Why? When you can't afford it, you know what I mean? Not even necessarily BMW. Sometimes it's a Mercedes.
It can even be like something as simple as a phone, and it confuses me because a lot of the time you have like not even when I say black, I don't mean like necessarily Zulu or Xhosa people, but like everyone that falls under the black spectrum. So Indians, everyone that's not white, but it can also include white people.
Everyone actually.
They like being like, okay, no, I want to fit in with the people in my class, so I need an iPhone. It doesn't make sense. It's like, why though?
Facts. The validation again comes into play, whereby the main problem is we are not raised in a society whereby whatever you have is enough. You always want more.
Yes. So and then more is never enough.
More is
it's never enough. It's
more is never enough. It should affect. So I think that's one of the aspects that the black society we need to grow. We need to grow in terms of not wanting validation. That's number one. Number two, I think the other problem is we are not necessarily equal, right? And we don't
definitely not.
We're not equal. And another problem that we have is we lack information.
True.
Information is a major key alert.
Yeah, definitely.
We don't have information. Sometimes you're not making enough when you're talking about obviously income because you just don't have the information.
No, you don't.
You may have the skill.
Even if like you want to start a YouTube channel, you may not have the correct information. Which, okay, no, instead of doing this, do that rather.
Facts. So we need information. So for example, if you have the skill of being obviously like a people's person, whatever, or you are even a mechanic, or you are something to do, if you have a skill, you can survive.
Yeah.
If you have any skill in this world, you can survive. So sometimes you have the skill, but you just don't have the information to use your skill accordingly to make enough money.
But then you blame school for that because what the fuck are they teaching us?
Oh.
Because I don't want to learn about science. I don't want to learn about plants.
But I think it depends. I mean, obviously, our basic education system is stuffed. I won't even lie. It's stuffed. Most of the things that you learn, you don't necessarily use them. I'm not bashing school. School is very important.
Yeah.
Especially, I found school to be important during the COVID times. The positives of school. Because school has the thing of leading you to a social life. So you're not necessarily cooped up alone.
Yeah,
I mean,
like when you're at school.
But more common
you see, as well as like extramural activities.
Yes.
Out there.
You develop into zakho, you know what I mean? So social skills you learn from school.
Yeah.
Basic thinking skills, as in okay, I can do this.
Basic reading, writing.
Easy, you learn from school. So school has a lot of positives.
It does. They just need to alter it a bit.
Especially in high school, because what you learn in high school, you don't necessarily learn skills. I mean, there's a few students that learn skills. I mean, some EGD pupils learn skills, computer, but if you're learning science,
it's like, it's too much of bookwork. I think that's the problem here. Because, for example, let's use LO. You take LO from like primary, and I feel like, no offense, and I understand the pressures, the stresses, the whole whatever adult teaches you, but I feel like to a certain extent, maybe if they had to introduce something like sign language, where it's like, okay, now we're trying to teach the youth to be open-minded, so that you know sign language, so when you go out into the world, you can communicate.
You see, so you need in the black society right now, you need information and you need to learn how to move about your life without validation, right? And going to the next point that I think is very important, you need to learn a skill.
Oh, you definitely.
Nowadays, you need to learn a skill. Like, we need to
skill or skills.
Skills.
Try and make it skills.
Skills, so that you are viable in any industry that you can go into. So, in saying that, learning a skill is important. I think that's the main thing that differentiates a successful person and a not so successful person. Because anything that you can learn, I mean, running a business is a skill.
It's a skill.
You know what I mean? So we need to understand that in this world, you need to understand how to learn a skill.
And nurture that skill. Because there's no point in knowing how to draw if you don't constantly practice and you know, perfect your craft.
Consistency again, and understanding that you need to do it over and over again.
To be the best. Your best, not everybody's best. Your best.
10,000 hours, guys. 10,000 hours.
Yes.
You perfect the skill.
But then the problem also comes where, you know, I understand we learned at school, and it's not like a secret, but during the whole apartheid era, it put the black people like at the bottom of the ladder. But also, we need to stop using that as an excuse now. Let's try and be like, oh, regardless of that, we're still gonna beat them at their own game.
We move.
You can't be like, ugh, you know, I can't get a job because of apartheid. They took our jobs. Don't do that. Rather, try and get a skill. Try and study. Try and do something.
Try and
so
look
you can
for
be like,
opportunities.
yeah, they tried to take that from us, but we were like, boom, I got it back.
And I think again, there's the problem with us right now is even, okay, I'm not gonna bash anyone, but we need to start learning to go into fields that are in demand. You know, some things, to be honest, are very, very, very useless. Right, not to say anyone's studies are useless or whatnot, but you need to understand that in certain aspects you need to learn high-paying jobs. You know, sometimes obviously, as long as, for me, and I'm not saying go for, you know, being a doctor or whatever. No, as long as it's a career whereby you can sustain yourself and you are happy and it's in demand in some sort of a way. Right. So we need to start putting it out there that, guys, we just need to go for opportunities that are needed. Right? Which is very important. And again, another major factor that I think we're lacking in the black society right now is supporting each other.
Yeah, definitely.
Support.
Definitely. Like we said in one of the other podcasts, it's almost as if like I want you to do good, but not better than me.
Yes.
And that's the problem, because why don't you want someone to do better than you? It's
if
not
someone
like
is shining,
you're not competing with them.
You're not you're not competing with anyone.
It's like your friends or your family. You're not competing with them. You're supporting each other. Umuntu uzofika at the end of the line.
Yes.
Not
everyone is running someone else's race. So you're running your own race. So you need to understand that again. You need to not compete with anyone and be within your own bracket and your own mindset. And in saying that we don't support each other, I'm not saying so. Sometimes we are born with talent, but I support at all. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, true.
There's a difference between understanding, supporting, and not supporting. You know, okay, let's say for example, someone starts a clothing brand, right? And I'm not bashing anyone.
Which everyone's doing now, but
see, that's the thing. If it's not meeting a certain standard that Nike or Adidas or any of the big companies are setting,
or not even necessarily the big companies, but like let's just say like the local stuff.
It needs to be of standard quality for me to be able to purchase it. So you can't necessarily say I'm not supporting. Sometimes I want to be honest with myself and say if something is not providing any value, then I'm not gonna pay for it.
But also the problem with that, with that whole starting your own clothing brand, is that a lot of people, and they just say if you're doing this, please Jay, consider it. But a lot of people, when they start a clothing brand, they will, let's say, give it a name. I don't know, let's say sweet. The name we can never say Panache. And then they're like and then they'll get a t-shirt and they'll just put the name Panache, and then that's the brand. You mustn't forget to go to people don't want to wear your name on their body. Why am I wearing your name? It must be something where it's like, okay, cool. And also, don't take the easy way out by buying a t-shirt, putting the name finish. Design that top.
Design
Make
something.
it look nice. It's a clothing line, not what the heck.
And you just said exactly. That is the point. That guys, I'm not going to purchase something if it's not of value. So you need to come up with something that is of equal value to the price of which I'm paying for it. So
exactly,
that is what I'm saying.
And their clothes are very expensive. I'm sorry. For a tracksuit with your name on it, it's like, bro, listen, at least make it look nice. So I'm like, oh, and affordable. I need to get that.
And affordable. You need to be affordable.
Might as well go buy a Nike tracksuit then.
And relax. Because Nike is known by almost everyone, and Nike obviously has a lot of value.
Exactly.
So we need to support each other, but for us to support your craft, or for us to support whatever it is that you're pushing or selling, or service or value, whatever it is, come up with something that matches the price. Right. So in black societies, there's a lot of things that we need to fix, especially amongst us. You know, being the youth and stuff like that. It's the education system and its opportunities. And one thing that
as well.
Work ethic. You need to work hard.
You need to work hard.
You need to work
Yo,
hard.
guys, I don't even mean this in a bad way, but there's so many lazy Gen Zs and millennials, and it's not even necessarily because they're lazy. It might be because there's like mental problems. You just but also I feel like, guys, come on,
we need to work hard at a certain level. We just need to work, and I think work ethic goes hand in hand with the correct socializing. That's something that is not put out in the public domain. I mean, in some instances, when I used to be obviously around my old friends, they would be like, you know, like white people, this. Not even my high school friends, not high school friends. Like before high school, like when I was young. There's a whole stigma around white people. So if we hang out, like, I'm saying white obviously because that was the only thing that was relative to us, right? So whatever. Not understanding that sometimes I understood this very late, that my parents, although it's not as if they could just like pay the money that was needed. I went obviously to a decent school.
But it wasn't like a private
school. You know
school,
what I mean? It wasn't like a fancy school. But although they were coughing up a lot of money, they were not just coughing it up for the education, but they were coughing up a lot of money for me to have those social, for me to be in those social
values, to understand other people and not necessarily be biased to only black people.
Exactly. So you need to understand that you were sent to those schools not to be biased, and also to understand the people that you're socializing with, they also have a network of individuals that can add value to your life. So there is a difference between people that go to lower won't say lower standard
okay,
schools.
yeah, but you know
what I mean.
Though.
So even if you go to those schools, it's not about school. It's about you putting yourself in spaces where you can socialize with big people. That's why they say people with a lot of money play what? Golf.
Oh, true.
Because in golf, what do? You deal with people with money. So you make business deals. You're like, oh, bro, Mina, I'm running a
this
mechanics.
Is what I'm doing.
What are you doing?
Are you interested?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, why not?
And
I got your back.
Bro, there's a 50,000 rand check right there. So you need to understand that you need to be in spaces whereby you are meeting people and you're talking to people that are high value.
But also your friendship groups.
Your friendship groups are important.
Fuck you up.
Ooh.
I'm telling you that, like, you will learn that. Like, just because people are your friends, it doesn't mean they necessarily your friend. You need good company in order to be a better person. Make sure the people around you also have the same mindset. Oh, you want to be a millionaire? They're also working towards that. Otherwise, if they're just working to, survive, you're gonna be demotivated. Unless you can sustain yourself, then that's okay.
It's very difficult.
But it's very difficult
because they do say if you're around 5 stupid people, you'll be the 6th one. So it's very difficult to be in spaces whereby people are not evolving. As a human race, we are born to evolve. That's why the same technology that was existed in 2010 is almost extinct in 2021. Like better, I say go back to
no, definitely.
I say it's not popping like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you need to evolve as you go. I mean, your friendship group, I'm not saying change it every time. Don't change. If it's your day
because you have to find your loyal ones.
Your loyal ones
just
one
keep
time.
Changing them up.
Like you guys watching the podcast right now. But anyway, those are our loyal ones.
Yeah.
So in some instances, you need to understand that you need to grow with everyone that you're with. So that's one thing again that we need to evolve into.
I watched this podcast where I forgot who it was, and I know Uti is like a famous guy. And
I'll find it.
But anyways, he was saying, Uti, the problem with the youth is they want to hang out with everyone. But if you're in a room and you are the smartest person, then you're in the wrong room, because you're supposed to be with people who are like educating you, who are like, okay, shit, I want to be like you, not necessarily because I want everything you want, but I want your knowledge to be at that wiseness.
Up there, be at the pinnacle. I totally agree with you. I couldn't agree more with you. And that is a very valid point. Important. You need to be in a room whereby you are not the smartest person.
Yeah, because then then why are you in that room in the first place?
Otherwise, you just it goes back to the point where you say by some people they are competing indirectly with other people, saying that I'm the best. But if you're the best, there's no room for improvement. And if there's no room for improvement, you're stagnant. So we need to put ourselves in the mindset of saying, guys, we need to be in spaces with individuals of high value and people that are above us. Because siyasho nesiZulu ukuthi indlela ibuzwa kwehambile or something like that. So obviously you need to ask the wise, the people that have
otherwise you're supposed to ask the millionaires, how did you become a millionaire? You're not gonna ask your friend who has the same amount of money as you.
Hey man, paying balance on zero so like I go.
Have you watched have you read Rich Dad Poor Dad?
I've read like parts of the book. I've watched the audiobook.
Oh, a lot of people
YouTube.
have.
Yeah, I don't like reading like that. Yeah, I don't like. I like to skim and scam and scam and scam and scam and scam.
Reading does become irritating. Anyway, so a while ago, not this year, but like a few years ago, my dad got that book and he was like, "Okay, you should read this." And at first I was like, "This guy, you want me to read? Like read?"
Yeah,
but then when you really read that book, you realize, as much as you are raised by your parents and you look up to them, and obviously I think I look up to my dad, he's an amazing person. But also there's certain things you shouldn't take from your parents because they weren't taught that. For example, he was raised by a poor dad, so he didn't necessarily take the poor dad's mindset about money. He took the rich dad's mindset. So you also need to know
that's true.
You look up to your parents, but they're not necessarily perfect. So take their perfect
sides, incorporate it to yours. Now that's true. I've read Rich Dad Poor Dad, but what I hate about that book, not read the whole thing. I only read like a few chapters, then not the whole thing.
Okay.
Sometimes, obviously, it's good advice, but sometimes I feel as if it promotes laziness and it promotes a sense of people wanting to say that things belong to them. I'll tell you why I think of that. Okay. Because in the book, obviously, it says you're running a race of, you need to be independent, you need to have your own money, you need to have your own assets and things like that. Right? But most of the people in South Africa, especially in the line of black societies and black individuals, don't have the capital to just go buy a 600,000 rand flat for them to rent it out. So I feel as if the book promotes that laziness of saying that, we'll just stick to where we are because I can't afford it.
I can't have it.
You know what I mean?
It's okay.
So I feel as if you need to read that book with that is out.
Don't take everything. I mean, everything you read, don't necessarily take it to heart. You need to adjust it to your life.
Facts. So in black societies, again, guys, there's a lot that we need to fix. There's a lot, and on that point again, there's the point of not understanding our finances, as we've said again. But we don't understand our finances because we tender enjoyment too much. Right. So I want to emphasize the point that although you're enjoying your youth, because this is a youth-based podcast, think of the future. Think of the future.
But then the problem comes where, and you see, this is my problem. This is my excuse every single time I use money.
Yeah.
But who says you're going to be alive in 5 years? So who are you saving it for? For your siblings, for your parents?
No. I'm not saying don't enjoy yourself, right?
You see, I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
But then it's also like.
But who says you're not going to be alive?
Okay, but I mean, it is better to rather prepare for something like being alive than not being alive, because always to be secure in the future. That's way better.
That's my mindset.
But it's also like, hey, guys, they're saying that there's for 15 years left of this earth.
Aibo. Get the Yagos. I'm just saying that we just need to start thinking of our future.
Definitely.
As you're stacking up money, just remember the bank's interest is nothing. So you just need to keep reinvesting it and reinvesting in yourself, in your image, in your brand, in whatever that you're trying to push, obviously in your education, whether it be you learning a skill. But another thing that I wanted to touch on that is very, 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 very important in our societies is we are always shifting blame, as we've said before.
Oh my God!
We are always
I actually wanted to talk to you about
blame.
this.
We are always talk to me.
Oh my! Why do we do that?
We shift blame all the time.
Especially and I don't necessarily want to bring relationships up into this, because we're not talking about that whatsoever. But even in terms of like friendships or like family.
You're never wrong.
You're never wrong.
You're never wrong.
Like, why don't you just say, okay, I'll give you an example now. Let's just say we get into a fight and I tell you, no, this is how you messed up. Instead of saying, okay, sorry, I'll try and prove. You're like, I will know because I did this because of this. And why? Why don't you just accept it?
You are shifting blame.
Why?
Blame. It's like you said earlier on the whole apartheid issue. People are still blaming that. Although I understand there's a deep pain, because I will never feel the same pain because I wasn't existent at the time. But we need to move away from points and things that have hurt us, right? That's why I'm saying we need to stop shifting blame. And moving into that, we need to understand that foreigners are not the problem for our issues.
No, definitely not.
They are not. We need to understand that we are coexisting, and if someone is moving from their own country to your country, it doesn't necessarily mean it's all roses, whatever. They're struggling, obviously.
But obviously, there's a reason why you're moving.
We need to understand that, guys. Shift your mentality into understanding that you don't need to shift the blame onto someone else.
It doesn't make sense, but it's also same thing. How your parents were raised. They were raised to blame white people, which they were to blame, by the way. But I feel like it's almost as if, and I'm not trying to be heartless because I know what's I will big shoe by that time. But it's almost as if you're being abused in a relationship, and now you're gonna constantly be like, the reason I'm poor right now is because that man beat me up. Every single, even 20, 30, 50 years, the reason I'm poor right now is because that man beat me up.
So you always stay in that constant state of mind, in that stagnant state of mind.
I have a right to feel the way I feel.
That is you.
That's your fault.
Bro, you need to shift your mindset, especially for Tina. For Tina, there's not a lot that we need to shift. It's just understanding that relationships don't define you. Your relationships in general, like
family,
friends, acquaintances, associates, whatever, it does not define you as a person. So if you understand that you are freeing your mind, which is the most important muscle, right? You need to flex your mind. You need to read.
Always. Yeah.
I'm saying you need to read, but I don't read. But anyway, you need to be informed.
Read the message.
I will read the messages at least. So
no, but in
always
general,
need
though,
to be informed.
Stop shifting the blame. Just take it.
Take it.
And see what happens. If someone says, okay, this is your fault, just say sorry. What's
Easy.
wrong with
Take
that?
responsibility.
It's okay.
Be accountable.
Shit, I really messed up here.
Facts.
Maybe I need to change my mindset and not do that. Because come on.
Otherwise we're not progressing as a society, and we're always going to be the bottom of the food chain, right? And to wrap it up, I just wanted to speak about this very briefly. And I think another major point that we need to understand is constant wealth is built from consistency.
Definitely.
So the most important points, whether it be you struggling in the morning to wake up and to do the same job, whatever, consistency is the most important
consistency
thing.
Is key. Any video you watch, they'll tell you consistency.
Just be consistent in your craft, right?
Definitely.
It will never. Sometimes your thing blows up now.
Sometimes
in 5, sometimes in 10. But again, it depends. You just need to do what you love, right? And guys, feed your families.
Like for real, like Jay. Also, for some reason, we listen to a lot of podcasts.
Hey.
Where this lady was basically saying, Uti, you know, if let's say you're working or you go to school, you wake up in the morning, you go to school. You wake up in the morning, you go to work. So if you force yourself, even though sometimes I'll call you, if you force yourself to work for someone else, why don't you force? Why do you have to? Why do you put more energy in? Like going to work, but when it comes to nurturing your skill, you're like, I don't feel like uploading today, or I'm not in the mood to film today. Stop that. Make it like a job.
If you're investing in someone's craft, invest in your own craft.
Exactly.
Invest in your own craft 10 times than you're investing into someone else's craft. And I think another major point that we need to understand is we need better role models in society.
Yeah.
We just need better role models, because I feel as if sometimes the only person that you look up to is doing all the wrong things. Then how can you go the other way? Because something that I actually read the other day was teens, Gen Zs or whatever, millennials, whatever, are most likely to follow their friends more than their own parents.
Yeah.
So if you have negative people in your life with negative mindsets, with lifestyles that are not necessarily moving according to what you want in the future or what you envision in the future, you're going the wrong direction.
You're definitely going the wrong direction.
You're moving in the wrong direction rather. So
that's why having
not
smart but like good friends, like we said in the beginning, is important.
It's important.
But it also makes sense why we wouldn't want to follow our parents, because if you are told as a kid, come on, if your parents are going to tell you, okay, listen, cook, you're not going to want to cook. So if they tell you, listen, study, you're not going to want to study. If it's your friend's like, first, we have to do it.
And we do it for some reason.
Do it because you guys, your mindsets are the same. You understand each other. It doesn't feel like pressure where I'm like,
hey, that's clean.
I'm your wonder when.
Hey, that's your friend again. You go harder each time. So you just need to understand that having better role models and your friends and better circle, if you have a better circle, then you sort it, right? And I mean, I'm not against anyone who does whatever they do, as long as at the end of the day you have your own vision and you're moving towards something. Always to work towards a goal,
towards what you want to achieve in life, because you're not going to be with your friends forever, and that's the harshest part. Like if you're in high school, that's a tip. When you leave high school, I promise you,
everyone is going in their own direction.
It's almost as if usuqala pants.
It's because he jump and varsity is like the first day is like, oh shit, dude,
horrible.
This person,
even at work too, it's like, oh fuck, I'm gonna be friends with like a 40-year-old.
And you're always meeting new people all the time, so which is very true. So yeah, guys, there's a lot that we just need to fix within our own societies before we can blame other societies. I mean, all those supporting each other, having good ideas, having good opportunities, looking for opportunities. But it's very
also
difficult.
like you said, those are so important. But the first thing you need to do, take the blame. If you're not succeeding in something, accept we're no better.
We're no bossy.
Don't say I'm not getting good marks in class because that teacher doesn't teach well. Bruh, there's YouTube, there's online content, there's friends, there's other teachers you can get this tuition, bruh. Stop that blaming
you just need to be responsible and accountable.
Flip. I didn't study for this test. I failed it, I'm gonna do better next time. Don't say, I blame that teacher. I blame my parents for not giving me money to start my hustle. I blame stop that.
And you just need to create your own path. Create your own path, but use someone as a template. And again, I read somewhere, and I think it was a video that said, success is difficult, right? But as much as it's difficult, it's not difficult because you're following someone else's blueprint.
Oh, true.
I was like, what?
Sheesh.
So just find a blueprint and follow the blueprint.
Don't copy and paste.
Do it your own way. It's like if you're starting a YouTube channel or whatever, just do it your own way. The blueprint must be existent. Without a blueprint, you're not building a proper house.
Oh, definitely not.
So you need to have a blueprint.
Pilat's gonna teach you how to build the foundation.
Otherwise you're gonna start up with the windows and what. So
there's no foundation.
Hey, which one is this one? So always understand that you need to have someone with a blueprint to the map that you are trying to get to, and then just use the map and build the house that suits you. But
you must understand that people are different. Everyone's lives are different. We come from different paths, and obviously, like, our futures are going to be different as well. So don't be like, oh, because you richer than me, you're gonna succeed before me. Don't do that. Everyone's coming at a different place. Like, bruh, everyone's hustling. I could be filthy rich with the best parents in the world and still fail.
Facts.
So don't.
And failure is good. It's something
is good. Yeah.
It's something that is always
they will teach you and you'll grow.
They're like, I think again, before we actually close, it's the problem with the education system is you're taught that failure is wrong.
Yeah.
If you get one, I think it was Vusi Tembewa that said this. If you are looking at your paper and the teacher's marked it, you don't look for the right ones.